Man, I think it's the next step up mentality as far as players. Our shifts keep changing. Everybody doing a different role, and so I think we all got the mentality where you give, you sacrifice, and I think that's what y'all see.
The Indiana Fever just shocked everyone and did what no one expected. Without Caitlin Clark on the floor, they went up against a fired-up Dallas Wings squad that was eager to bounce back after a tough loss to the Sparks the night before. All signs pointed to disaster. It looked like the perfect setup for a letdown. A roaring crowd of 20,049 showed up hoping to see Caitlin Clark finally clash with Paige Bueckers in their first ever WNBA showdown, but instead they witnessed something even more unforgettable, something that could redefine what this Fever team is truly made of. Those final minutes were something else, pure grit, heart, and a refusal to back down. What the Fever did in crunch time will shift the way fans look at this squad forever. This wasn't just about surviving without Clark, it was about thriving. And then came the moment that sealed it. Aaliyah Boston stepped up and delivered 6 words that captured the entire emotion of the night. This one meant the absolute most. If you support the Fever, drop a comment below. I've got the Fever, and let the world know this team is for real. Let's go.
Yeah, I think for us it's about knowing that basketball is a game of runs, and they made their run that third quarter, and honestly just continue to stay composed and take it each possession at a time is something that we've been working on. And so for us, that was our focus, is get a stop, go down and score, get another stop, and we try to get a kill.
Picture this, a matchup so big it had the entire WNBA world on edge. Clark versus Bueckers, the top pick of 2024 facing off against the number 1 pick of 2025. This wasn't just another game on the schedule, this was the moment fans had been dreaming about since draft night. The Dallas Wings knew exactly what they had on their hands, so they made a bold move. They shifted the game from their regular spot at College Park Center to the massive American Airlines Center, the same arena where the Mavericks play. Pause and let that sink in. You don't relocate a game to a 20,000-seat arena unless you're expecting something historic. The excitement was instant. Fans flooded the ticket site. Social media exploded with hype. This wasn't just a basketball game, it was a movement. This was the night women's basketball was ready to make a statement, the showdown that could smash attendance records and prove once and for all how far the game has come.
Finding out this morning that we probably need to hold out again today. It really is a day-to-day thing, and I think for us, making sure that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness. It's anybody who's had some of these types of injuries understand that sometimes it's a process. She's a quick healer, and she's been doing everything that she can to get back on the floor. So we just want to make sure that we're hypersensitive to the big picture.
Then boom, just 2 nights before tip-off, Clark's groin injury flares up, and just like that, the most anticipated matchup of the season is suddenly in doubt. The energy, the hype, the build-up all hangs in the balance. You've got thousands of fans who bought tickets, planned their whole week around seeing Clark and Bueckers go head-to-head, and now the biggest name in the sport might not even step on the court.
A disappointment for them more than anything, because you want them to see her at her best and us at our best. I hate that for fans, but at the same time, again, for us as a team, and for Caitlin as a person and player, her health and wellness is the priority.
But here's the thing that made this whole situation even more intense. The Fever had just been absolutely dismantled by the Los Angeles Sparks the night before. We're talking about a team that looked completely out of sync without their superstar running the show. The pace dragged, the offense was stagnant, Aaliyah Boston was barely involved, and everything that usually makes Indiana dangerous completely fell apart the moment Clark wasn't on the floor.
The biggest thing for us is our attention to detail in our screening. We've got to be great screeners. We got to make sure we slow down and use our screen, and our spacing. We've had some games where our spacing has been poor, and that has not allowed Kelsey to get downhill, and it hasn't allowed space for Aliyah to get going either. So I think that the 2 most important things for us right now offensively is attention to detail and screening.
Dallas was absolutely licking their chops. They knew exactly what happens when the Fever take the court without Clark. The offense stalls, Boston gets left out of the game plan, and everything starts to crumble. This looked like the perfect moment for the Wings to make a loud statement against a vulnerable team that had just been embarrassed. But here's what nobody saw coming. Even with Clark's status still up in the air, 20,049 fans still packed the arena. That's right, they broke the Texas women's basketball attendance record without even knowing if the main event would happen. Think about that for a second. That's the power of this rivalry and the undeniable rise of women's basketball.
We'll start Ari today. We'll start her and bring Sid off the bench a little bit. I don't want to take Kelsey out of what she naturally does instinctually on the wing. and overload her from a point guard perspective. So with having Ari and having Sid, they'll give us a couple different looks.
The Wings came into this game thinking they had a wounded animal backed into a corner, but coach Stephanie White had other plans. She stunned everyone by inserting Ari McDonald into the starting lineup for the first time, flipping the script and catching Dallas completely off guard. Nobody knew what to expect from this retooled Fever squad, and what happened next revealed something even their most loyal fans hadn't seen before. The stage was set for a disaster or a miracle. Then the first quarter tips. Often something wild happens. The Fever don't just manage without Clark, they come out swinging from the opening whistle. Ari McDonald brings a spark that blindsides everyone. She's pushing the tempo like her.
Charles can't finish.
Gotta finish that.
Oh, beautiful pass. McDonald counted in one.
Run.
She's getting everyone involved in ways that make you forget Clark isn't even on the floor. Dallas came in thinking all they had to do was contain Kelsey Mitchell. That was the plan, shut down Mitchell, and the Fever collapsed. But now they are facing something they didn't prepare for. Ari McDonald is attacking downhill with relentless speed, and it's throwing the Wings defense into total disarray. She's breaking them down off the dribble, opening passing lanes that haven't been there all season and creating a rhythm that Dallas just can't keep up with.
Can't finish.
As a big, you gotta lean in. You can't be falling away.
McDonald has been outstanding.
Here's what makes this even more incredible. McDonald goes a perfect 100% from the field in that opening quarter, and it's not just about scoring. She's making high IQ plays, setting up teammates and keeping the defense on its heels. The Fever come out firing, hitting their first 7 shots in a row, 7 straight buckets to start the game. You almost never see that kind of precision and confidence, especially from a team missing its biggest star.
Side can't get it. Lee Yu Rue can't. Here comes Natasha Howard. 9-0 run for Indiana. Lexi Hull carries the 3.
See that.
You gotta get out on her, ladies. She's shooting 51% from beyond the arc.
Aaliyah Boston finally starts getting the touches she's been craving all season. You can see her confidence growing with every trip down the floor. She's getting the ball in spots where she can go to work and punish defenders with her skill and strength. The Wings are so focused on McDonald's speed that they are forced to loosen up in the paint, and that's all Boston needs. She starts scoring with efficiency, grabbing boards and playing like she's been waiting for this exact moment to remind everyone who she really is.
To open the game, the Wings are only 2 of 14. Howard lobbed it inside Boston, and Maisha Hines-Allen got lost. Allowed for the easy 2.
And you challenge Natasha, and she's going to get in the paint. And so the defense has to step up to protect the drive, and now she puts that air on the ball, and AB is able to finish that shot at the rim. That was beautiful.
The crowd that showed up expecting to see Clark versus Bueckers is witnessing something entirely different. They are watching a team unlock a new version of itself, a version where everyone steps up and the load is shared. This isn't about one superstar carrying the weight, it's about 5 players moving in rhythm as one. By the end of the first quarter, Indiana leads 33-13. Just let that sink in. They outscore Dallas by 20 points in just 12 minutes. And the performance is so impressive, even Dallas fans are rising to their feet applauding what they're seeing. You don't get that kind of respect from opposing crowds very often.
This is what they do.
Yep. Sometimes you're going to have some back-to-back games. Sometimes you're not going to be able to get in the gym and practice. You got it.
Oh,
Good night.
and again, the veteran schools the rookie.
Kelsey Mitchell starts heating up during this stretch, but she's not hunting shots, she's letting the game come to her. The ball movement is crisp and everyone's getting quality looks. Mitchell drops 10 points in the first quarter alone, but it all comes within the natural rhythm of the offense. This wasn't just about filling Clark's scoring void, it was about the Fever realizing who they could become when everyone locked in and played their role. The foundation was laid for something special, but the real test was just beginning. Dallas comes storming back and that comfortable lead starts evaporating fast. The Wings adjust and find cracks in Indiana's defense. Shots that weren't falling early start dropping and the energy in the building shifts. Fever fans can feel it. Paige Bueckers starts taking over in a way that feels inevitable. She scores 27 points and turns in a jaw-dropping performance that rewrites the record book. She becomes the first player in WNBA history to record 25 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks and 0 turnovers in a single game. It's the kind of stat line that wins games and announces a new star to the world.